Hey everyone, multiplying fractions. I know, it sounds a bit intimidating, right? But honestly, once you spot the hidden pattern, it's incredibly satisfying. Let's just dive straight into this explainer and unlock the foolproof system for solving these problems. By the time we wrap up, you're going to have a rhythmic, super easy system for tackling these equations every single time.
To get started, picture this. What exactly is 1/4 of 1/2 of a large pizza? Imagine you're hanging out with some friends, and there's exactly half of this massive, amazing pizza sitting in the box. Now you and 3 friends want to split that remaining half equally. You want 1/4 of that 1/2. How much of the total original pie are you actually getting? It's a highly practical question that we can easily solve with a little math. Now here is the secret code behind math word problems. Whenever you spot the word of when you're dealing with fractions, it is almost always screaming at you to multiply. Seriously, that tiny 2-letter word is our biggest clue. Of simply means multiply. Lock that trick in your memory because it completely demystifies these kinds of real-world scenarios. So let's translate our pizza dilemma into actual math. We take our phrase 1/4 of 1/2 and we just swap out that word of for our multiplication symbol. Bam, it maps perfectly to 1/4 times 1/2. Suddenly, we aren't stressing about who gets which slice of pizza anymore. We're just looking at a straightforward, super clean mathematical equation. All right, let's get into the rhythm of this. Step 1 focuses entirely on the top numbers, the numerators. All you gotta do is multiply numerator by numerator. In our pizza equation, the top numbers are 1 and 1. So 1 multiplied by 1 equals 1. That is literally it. We instantly have the top part of our brand new fraction. Moving on, we complete the pattern by looking downstairs at the bottom numbers, the denominators. Step 2 is just denominator multiplied by denominator. Down here, we've got 4 and 2. We multiply 4 by 2, and that gives us 8. This rhythm, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, it's the reliable little engine that powers through every single fraction multiplication problem. Put those 2 simple steps together, and what do we get? 1/8. So zooming back out to our party, if you take 1/4 of that half pizza, you are getting exactly 1/8 of the whole pie. Boom. You just solved a real-world problem using fraction multiplication, and you did it just by following a really straightforward straight-across pattern. All right, let's step it up a notch. What if I asked you for 2/5 of 1/6? The numbers are a tiny bit bigger, but guess what? That core system we just learned doesn't change at all. Whether the numbers are 1s and 2s or 5s and 6s, the logic is absolutely rock solid. Let's see it in action. First things first, we apply our fundamental rule. We see that word of, and instantly, poof, we change it to a multiplication symbol, giving us 2/5 times 1/6. Setting the problem up correctly is half the battle. And right now, we are perfectly lined up to run through our rhythmic steps. Let's walk through that familiar pattern again. Step 1, multiply the top. 2 times 1 gives us 2. Step 2, multiply the bottom. 5 times 6 is 30. Top with top, bottom with bottom. It's actually beautifully simple when you lay it out like this, isn't it? Mash those together, and we get our resulting fraction, 2/30. But, hold on, while mathematically that's totally correct, it's a bit clunky. In math, we always want things nice and neat presented in their most compact form. So we've got a tiny complication to smooth out before we can officially call this finished. To handle that, we just need to simplify. We look at 2/30 and ask ourselves, hey, is there a number that divides perfectly into both the top and the bottom? Well, yeah, since 2 and 30 are both even numbers, we can just chop them both in half by dividing by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 30 divided by 2 is 15. So 2/30 shrinks neatly down to 1/15. Just to quickly recap that one, we started out looking for 2/5 of 1/6. We swapped the of for a times sign, multiplied straight across, caught that we needed to simplify, and landed on our polished final answer, 1/15. It's incredibly satisfying to see that whole logical chain laid out from start to finish. Okay, let's try a third example just to stress test this logic. Find 1/2 of 3/2. Now, you might notice something slightly weird here. That second fraction, 3/2, is top-heavy. The numerator is actually bigger than the denominator. Do not let that throw you. The beauty of these math rules is that they apply universally, no matter how funky the fraction might look. Once again, we guide the problem right into our standard setup. The of becomes a multiplication sign, leaving us with 1/2 times 3/2.
Notice how we are just hitting copy-paste on that exact same straightforward logic. Consistency really is your secret weapon here.
Let's lean into that rhythm one last time to really cement it in your brain forever. Isolate the top. 1 times 3 equals 3. Now the bottom. 2 times 2 equals 4. You are essentially just doing 2 super basic multiplication problems stacked right on top of each other. And there it is, our final answer, 3/4. Now can we simplify 3/4? Nope. There's no whole number besides 1 that divides evenly into both 3 and 4, so we are completely done. Awesome job! We have just navigated 3 completely different fraction multiplication scenarios without even breaking a sweat. So if you take only one thing away from this explainer, make it the golden rule of multiplying fractions. When you've got a fraction times a fraction, your job is incredibly simple. Numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. Burn this simple vertical stack into your memory, and I promise you will never, ever get stuck on one of these problems again.
Bye, students. Don't forget to subscribe for more fun math videos.